Las Vegas, famous, fabulous playground of the West. A wide open town that never goes to sleep.
I don't care if the sun don't shine. I do my drinking in the evening time when I'm in Las Vegas.
Get ready for 1 full hour of vintage Vegas. This is Vegas Knights Tales, the radio show. These 3 dealers have spent their time in the gaming pits, and now they're talking. Growing up in 1950s Vegas, breaking into the mob-run casinos in the 1970s, they'll tell what it was really like in the golden era. The art of dice and cards, mobsters and muscles, starlets and harlots. The real story from guys who lived it. Now, let's bring on the hosts. Here's Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps, and Jimmy Bags. Here's Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps, and Jimmy Bags.
Hey, welcome to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Benny Baccarat right here, Danny Craps.
Hey.
Danny, we're missing somebody. Where's the bag man at?
Well, I got to tell you, Jimmy Bags, you know, he was running late, and he couldn't get out of the garage. Something happened to the garage door opener where he couldn't get out. He started the car. Well, he said he started the car, and then he was trying to open the garage, wouldn't open, and he said he was getting dizzy, so he shut the car off. Obviously, too much carbon dioxide will
that's not good.
Put you to sleep. So he asked me if I knew someone that could fix garage doors, but I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I got a card here.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. Jimmy, write this down. Matthew over at Rapid Response Garage Door Service. Matthew. His number is 702-525-9983. Give him a call. Jimmy, this guy's great.
Hey,
you'll love him.
Matthew. After the show, give me his card because I
will.
like just the name. Rapid Response means they get there quick.
They get there in a hurry.
So I like that.
Jimmy, write that down. So if you're listening, and give him a call. He'll be right out there. Yeah, great guy. Know him well.
Well, good. Now I'll get to know Matthew because once in a while my garage door starts to get on the fritz.
Yeah, when they get on the fritz, he's a great guy, a good guy to know.
All right, well that's good.
Isn't that funny? You run into people that you forget about stuff like that. You don't think about it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it happens. You're going, oh, who do I call?
We know what happens. It's out of sight, out of mind until it becomes something then it's in your mind constantly.
Yeah,
can't get it out.
Can't get it out of your mind.
You just can't get it out of your mind.
Yeah.
Hey Benny, are we going to the circus today?
Wow, I think we are going to go to the circus.
We're going to the circus today?
To the circus with the peanuts and the elephants.
The ringmaster.
The ringmasters. Wow, we're going to talk about the Circus Hotel.
Do you
folks.
remember the ringmaster? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
Yes.
It's showtime under the big top.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it all began, man. I remember hearing those sounds, and it was just it was incredible as a kid listening to all that.
Well, when Circus opened on October 17th of 1968, in 68 I believe I was 15 and a half or 16, and that was one of the greatest joys was to go on the weekend to go to Circus.
Oh, absolutely. Well, who opened that?
Why, my old buddy Jay Sarno.
Jay Sarno opened that.
Yeah,
wow.
Jay Sarno, and his best friend and business partner Stan Mullen.
Well, wasn't he part of the circus or the Caesar's Palace?
Well, Jay is the main man for the design and architect. I mean, he put it together. He had Joe Harris as the architect for Caesar's Palace, but back up, Joe Harris was actually helped Stan Mullen and Jay Sarno with their designs for their first successful business venture in 1958, which was the Atlanta Cabana Motel in 1958. And then within that 2-year period, they opened up in Palo Alto and also Dallas, Texas. So that was they tried a couple other things after coming out of World War II, but that was their first successful venture. And Joe Harris was the principal architect for Caesar's Palace and Circus. under the direction of Stan Mullen and Jay Sarno, because Jay Sarno was a dream weaver.
Yeah, he was a ringmaster himself, if I'm not mistaken. Or he liked to dress up as a ringmaster.
He would dress
when
up
when he built that.
with the red coat, the white pants, the boots, the hat. And this is a funny story. My dad was actually going to go to work there on the box, and he was being measured prior to them opening. For the boxmen were going to wear tails. They were going to wear jackets with tails and a top hat for the opening. And then, of course, my dad said, you know what? Mexicans don't look good in tails.
But I thought he was Italian.
Well, that's what he said to get the job on the strip. My dad said, hey, you know.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, my name is, Frank Spaghettini.
Yeah, your dad was smart.
But my dad, he did look more Italian than, because he was light-skinned. I mean, he was light, so otherwise he may have had more problems trying to get in on the strip. I mean, it was just, that's how it was back then. There was no HRs, or there was nobody to go shout to. The thing that got you a job was that you knew how to deal.
You had to do.
You had to be a good dealer to get on the strip. It was usually a minimum of 4 or 5 years before you went from downtown to uptown. Am I right, Benny?
You're absolutely right. They said that learning that game of dice that your dad dealt, it took 5 years.
Yes.
And, it's funny. Still, through all this time that I dealt all the dice, I still learn something new every day.
Every day.
But, the Circus, that opened up right across from the Riviera.
That's right.
Right across the street from the Riviera.
That's right.
And they made that into a big top. When they poured the cement, they had to pour it in sections. So, it was how it all formed and everything's amazing.
Because they wanted the tent to be taut.
To be taught.
And
right.
and it had to be. And it came out that way.
It did.
Yes.
Whoever designed pouring that concrete the way they did, because it worked. It worked perfectly.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a local company. R.C. Johnson.
R.C. Johnson did
Yeah, it was
that.
a local company, and it came out exactly how it was supposed to come out. And but the thing was, what was the thing that hurt them, though?
That hurt the Circus?
Well, when it opened up, I mean...
Well, they didn't have no hotel rooms.
No hotel.
It was just a casino in the beginning.
Yes.
And that did hurt him desperately, but he was going to open up more rooms down the road.
Yeah, well, they thought that initially that they would get it going using the theme of having 4 stories, and one story would be the Midway, which became famous for all the Midway games, concessions. They even had a special attraction that I believe came within a short time after opening, which tell them about that exhibit that used to scare people to
that
death.
was Zambora.
Oh,
Zambora was a lady that would dance behind a cage. I remember seeing this quite a few times as a kid.
yes.
And you'd sit there and you'd watch her, and she would transform into a gorilla right before your eyes. And then all of a sudden, mysteriously, the cage opened, and she'd come jumping and running out into the crowd.
Yeah, well, she'd shake that cage, and all of a sudden the doors,
The door would open.
and everyone would start screaming and running out of the place.
Yeah, that was really amazing. I mean, that scared the, bejesus had a lot of people.
Oh, my God, Zambora, which, ended up being featured in the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever in 1971
That's true.
with
That
Jill
did-
St. John. Oh, I was hot for her.
Oh, everybody
Oh.
was back
Oh,
then.
oof.
Yeah, Jill St. John, she was, wow, what a
Oh,
body.
hey, listen, if who's she married to?
Well, that was, she was married to
No, who's she married to now? Robert.
Wagner.
Yeah, Bob Wagner. Hey,
Yeah.
Jill, if you're listening and Robert's getting a little slow, hey, Danny Craps is here at the entertainment capital of the world, Jill.
Yeah,
hey,
Benny Baccarat.
that's right. And Diamonds Are Forever.
Yes. Now listen, when they opened that, before they got it open, the grand opening, they had 50,000 balloons tied to the top of the Circus. They were going to release some balloons when the grand opening. Well, it's what they did. They had a helicopter that was going to take photos, and it flew an hour before opening above the Circus, and the downdraft from the blades caused the netting to open, and all the balloons escaped.
Oh, my God. An hour before it was.
An hour
oh,
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh
And,
my God, that's people were sick.
But they had lines. They said 12 people deep going from the Tropicana to Sahara wanting to get in there.
Oh yeah.
And what did he did? He was amazing. He decided he wanted to charge people to get in there.
Yeah, in the beginning, he
And-
figures
and
all
he
those
did.
lines. Let's make an extra coin.
And
How
he
much
did.
was that?
50 cents from like 7 in the morning till 2 in the morning till 7. And then from 7 till 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. was $1 to get in. They
Wow.
charged everybody to get in there.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And
That's
when you walked
unbelievable.
in, you walked in on the second floor.
Yes.
Because then, you got all the kids got to see all the arcade games and all that stuff, which kept them busy. And you could look down and see all the gamblers down below.
That's exactly right. And of course, all the circus acts that actually were supposed to end at 2 in the morning, they continued until 6 a.m.
Yeah, continue till 6, but they had to stop it after 6 because of fatigue.
Fatigue, yes.
They were getting tired. They were just wore out.
Yeah.
And one thing, to get down to the first floor, it wasn't an elevator you could use.
No.
What was it, Danny?
Why, I believe it was a slide and a pole.
Absolutely. Fireman's pole and a slide that you could take to get to the bottom floor where the game
I
was.
used both.
Well, I think I tried to get down the slide once. I got thrown out.
Did you? I went down the
I had to
slide.
stay up there on the second floor.
I went down the pole, too.
Did you?
That's when I thought I wanted to be a fireman. But then, I might have been giving myself a hose job there.
Well, so was all them the concession stands. They were hosing the people too.
Well, when Jay Sarno and Stan Mullen were in financial crisis after opening and realizing that they needed rooms, and also during the time when they opened, there had been the national gas crisis started to develop, so it was causing a little lack of tourism. So Jay Sarno and Stan Mullen had been introduced to Alan Dorfman, who was connected to the Teamsters pension fund, and decided that he'd lend them $23 million.
Oh, the Teamsters fun again. Huh?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? And one of the stipulations, of course, is that they allowed Anthony Tony the Ant Spilatro to have a gift shop there under the guise and name of Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart.
And why was he there as a gift shop owner? You tell the audience what he really was there for.
He was there to oversee the money, what was going on. The Chicago money is where all it was going. That's what he was actually there for. And plus, he was taking all the loan sharks off the street.
Well, of course.
He wanted a piece of the action himself.
Well, yeah, but you see, the mob is not going to give you millions of dollars and not have people in place watching.
That's right.
That's what they do. They don't trust anyone.
No.
They don't even trust their own. If you do the right thing, but it's almost like the business we've been in. You could be honest, but every day they suspect you of today's the day that Benny or Danny Craps is going to steal.
That's true. Now they got cameras everywhere, and it's amazing that people still try to steal.
Yeah.
They get caught all the time. They still gonna try it.
Why would you go for dollars and cents? I mean, if you're gonna put yourself in that position, go get an armored car. Do it like they did in the movie. They Came to Rob Las Vegas, 1969 movie with Elkie Summer, Gary Lockwood, Jack Palance, where they got this armored car and then they buried it in the desert and covered it up and no one could find it. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. They came to rob Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
I think it's time for a
break already.
Wow.
Man, time's flying by. Okay, well, call right in, 483-4444, right here at the Vegas
call in
Nights
if you.
Tells.
Hey, let me know if you worked at Circus and maybe you did a couple of acts.
Sure.
I know
Call
a
in.
couple of girls that did some unnatural acts in front of Circus.
Now, let's return to the Vegas Nights.
Hey, welcome back right here with the Vegas Nights Tells here. Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps. We're talking about if you're going to steal big, these casinos and everything. Danny mentioned an armored car, but if you really want to hit the big time, become a politician. You can steal all you want.
You know, Benny, I hadn't thought of that, but that's the perfect gaff right there.
That's all.
You tell the people what they want to hear,
And then go through the back pocket with
and
all
then
you can get a hold of.
and then you do the double back trick. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? What the last word is?
Sure.
Double back trick. I in case there's anybody under 18 listening.
Yeah. So yeah,
We're trying to keep a clean show here.
keep a clean show.
Yes.
Let's keep it clean.
Yeah, keep it clean. That's why we take 3 showers a day.
Yeah. Well, they had, one of the shows they had there was the Wheel of Destiny. That's where the 2 big round wheels, and they have the 2 performers that run on top of them.
Yes.
And that kept everybody, intrigued
Yeah.
with that till the lights went out one night. Luckily, nobody got hurt, because that thing was spinning pretty good. I don't know if people will remember that or not. And the one guy that they used to jump off that 65-foot tower into that foam.
That was exciting to watch that.
Yeah, they took bets on that.
Yeah,
People
to
would
see if
bet
he
on
was going to
he'd
make it, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
See what kind of splash he was going
Yeah.
to make.
Landed in that foam every time.
He had 2 ways to go, splash or splat.
5 by 9 foot is all that thing was.
Wow, that's a kiddie
65
pull.
feet.
That's a kiddie pull.
Yeah, made it every time.
You can't be a heavyweight and jump down there, huh?
Yeah, they even had wrestling with a caged tiger.
That's
you could
right.
wrestle in a cage with
That's
them.
right.
There's so much went on.
What about some of the more famous people that came through there and actually performed?
Well, they had they had a lot of people that
I'm thinking about a little Parisian French doll.
Gina Lollobrigida. She was there. She was going to, in fact, Ed Sullivan was going to put on a TV show there, and he was just amazed by the holes they were putting in the roofs and everything to put these cameras and lights in, and they put all these benches around in the casino so they could put the show on, and she had a tiger that she was going to set by, and do a little talk with this tiger, and during when they were working on getting the show and everything, this tiger I guess took a liking to her gold chain dress, took a big bite out of it. Didn't hurt her, but scared the hell out of her.
Hey, I'd have taken a big bite out of her too.
Yeah.
Gina Lollobrigida?
Yeah.
Ah.
So they ended up getting rid of that act because she says there's no way I'm going to go on
Que
there.
bella bambina.
Oh, you imagine tiger taking a liking to you that fast?
What about someone that was related to Brigitte Bardot, the French sex
That was
siren?
Barbette Bardot.
Barbette Bardot.
Barbette, she she was built a little different. She was 44, 24, 38 was her size.
What an eye popper.
Yeah, what an eye popper. And
Whoa.
she sang and did some stripping, and she packed them in. She ended up making $25,000 a week, is what she got off of that.
25? That's not peanuts,
Yeah.
being it's a circus.
That was Brigitte Bardot's cousin,
Wow.
and she had 4 kids, and there was nothing silicone on her. Those were real.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
when things were real back
They
then.
were real, and everybody went back to see her.
Wow.
Yeah,
Instead
she
of
was a
going
big
into
hit.
Silicon Valley now.
Yeah, she was a
Ooh.
real big hit back then.
Ooh la la.
They had, like I said, Diamonds Are Forever was filmed there. They had
They also did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They did a
Honey,
scene
I
in there
Shrunk the
where
Kids,
Adam,
right.
the overgrown child, was in there in the midway
yeah.
or somewhere in there.
Yeah, they had the Rockford Files. They were
Rockford Files.
filmed in there.
A movie that was with Mark Hamill where he was getting scammed at the midway. It was a movie that he did in there. Baby Genius. I mean, a lot of different things went through Circus. I mean, it was unique.
Oh, it was definitely unique. It was it was something that Howard Hughes didn't like. I know that he hated.
What did Howard say about it?
Oh, he hated the whole idea about the circus being there. He said it's disgusting. It's low class, low people, freckle-faced kids. That he said there's dirt floors, animals all over the place. It was disgusting to him, and that was actually one of the main reasons he was getting out of town, because he said they're turning it into a circus.
Well, I also think that he was very germophobic, and he thought that animals and things of that nature were probably, like you said, dirty, and whatever else he said that was.
No, he just said it brought in a low class of people, which I didn't think that, but you know, it did bring in a lot of medium class people, which turned it right around.
Well,
You know.
it did after it was sold, because there was problems with Sarno and Moulton financially. Jay Sarno had problems with tax code violations. They were also looking into the connections with mob people.
Well, he owed a lot of people to
he
the
owed a
people
lot
that
of people.
built that.
Yes.
And he was running amok, so he had to resign.
He resigned, and then of course they got saved. Stan Mullen took over, and then Jay Sarno came back to the company a year later in 1970
with $200,000. He gave him
with 200 personal loan.
Personal loan.
Personal loan, $200,000.
He gave that to him, and then he got right back in again. And
then by 1974, when they still were not doing the financial, windfall that they thought they would get, they ended up. Before they sold it, they leased the property to William Bennett and William Pennington. And they thought Jay Sarno's ideas were good, but they thought that they were spread out too much. So they centralized things. The hotel took over the circus part of it, the concessions and everything. They got rid of the riffraff, as far as like dishonest vendors and guys that were cheating the public. They made it more legit. And within 2 months, they were in the black.
They were in the black, and they ended up starting to build hotel rooms.
Yeah.
They ended up building some hotel rooms there and everything, and
yeah,
getting that all up and running. They turned it around. They really did.
They did.
Well, they sold that thing for $60 million.
No, that was Caesar's Palace.
That was Caesar's with $60 million.
They kept it until the MGM came and took it over, but I don't recall the amount, but it was substantial.
Yeah, I got Caesar's mixed up with that one.
They gave Jay Sarno and Mullen $25 million, and of course the lease didn't become like a deed of trust until 1983 when everything was finalized. So there was a 9-year period where it was like leased option to buy, more or less. However, those the contracts work, and they didn't legally get everything until 1983. Of course, they made money, and then of course it changed. MGM ended up buying the property and became Mandalay Bay Incorporated.
Yeah, Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, but I mean, when I'd get off work in '68, I was working as a busboy at the Dunes, and once every other week, I would just walk down the strip instead of taking the bus to downtown and then home before I got my motorcycle. And I'd go eat at the Pink Pony. They'd have a breakfast special before a certain time. I'd get off at 7, and if I didn't get a ride, or I'd walk down there, I'd go to the Pink Pony and have that breakfast special was like 99 cents.
Well, they had, in fact, Jay Sarno, he had a thing when he opened the circus for the kids and the family. For the buffet they had there was 25 cents.
Unbelievable.
You could eat there for 25. He had
25
specials. 25 cents.
25 cents.
Isn't that crazy?
That's unheard of.
Now everything's $40.
But that's how inexpensive things were. I mean, like, I'd go to the Pink Pony and have that 99-cent breakfast. 99 cents, you could have a steak, whatever. It was unbelievable. And, and I got to say, Circus as a teenager, I got a lot of action.
Heck yeah.
When I finally got my motorcycle, I went wide. I'd go to Circus, and the parents would be down there gambling, and the young girls were running wild in the midway.
Oh, yeah. And so was we.
And of course, I always had an unusual reaction when I'd watch her use the squirt gun to blow up the balloon until it popped.
I remember that.
That gave me all kinds of fantasies. I got to say. I was young. I was 16. I was, red-blooded Mexican. Muy caliente all the time.
All the time.
I just started to cool off.
Still hot out though, Danny.
Well, you're right. But it's like the process of osmosis if you're familiar with a slow developing situation.
And Sonny Liston, he was even in there, and he was walking around, and he was going to do a little performance
Yes.
with the boxing gloves, and somebody had taped on the inside of his boxing gloves, put up your dukes. And he sat there and he looked at them and he laughed and he turned around. And here was the big gorilla. They had a big gorilla, Norbu the gorilla.
Norbu.
And they had boxing gloves on Norbu the gorilla. They just started, of course they wasn't going to box, but it was pretty funny to see that.
Well, Norbu, he was a little unhappy because, he wasn't top banana.
He wasn't top banana.
No, he wasn't top banana. And he went ape over it, as a matter of fact. He went quite ape over it. I'm surprised they didn't book him with Sonny Liston. I wonder if Sonny would have taken a dive.
Yeah,
I would have.
Yeah, I would have too.
Huh?
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a gorilla.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy how the circus really made a lot of things happen for a lot of people. My brother worked there when he was younger. It was pretty cool. He had the big balloon shirts.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff.
The dealers used to wear those big balloon shirts with look like little balloons on their shirts. Remember, they were multicolored.
Yeah.
Huh?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But of course, I was looking down at him. I couldn't.
You were looking down at him. Yeah.
I couldn't get on the floor.
I loved hanging out there. As I got older, I would go in there. There was a gal. Her name was Ellen. She was one of the little showgirls in there, And of course, Ellen thought she was a big star, and I had to remind her, "You're just a circus performer. You're only making peanuts. Relax." Of course, she didn't believe that, and Ellen and I were through.
Yeah.
We were through.
You didn't throw her a banana.
Well, I tried. I tried to do some, being that we were at the circus, I tried to do some acts with her, but it didn't work out.
No go, huh?
No.
Yeah, that was quite a place. Quite a place. They ended up building that big RV park on the back end of it.
In 1979, it started off with 399 spaces.
And they ended up putting 50-amp service to all the trailers. They had everything.
It was
back
state of the
there.
art for back then. They had a convenience store. They had a dog run before it became popular. They had a dog run. They had a playground for tots.
Yeah, playground for tots.
I got to be careful playground for tots. Okay, TOTS.
Yes.
People say that I mispronounce certain
things.
words, but I'm working on it, folks.
Could that be the heritage?
I got the Rosetta Stone for English just last week.
Beautiful.
How am I doing?
Listen, we're going to take a quick break right here, right now. You got to come back and listen in. We're talking about Circus Circus, the Vegas Knights Tales.
Circus Circus. A lot of you kids that grew up here remember Circus Circus. You got a flood of memories invading your mind right now.
That you do. Vegas Knights Tales.
Now, let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back right here on the Vegas Knights Tales. Benny Baccarat, Danny Crafts talking about Circus Circus Hotel. Like I said, folks out there, there's plenty of you people out there can remember a lot of memories about that Circus Circus Hotel.
Yeah, if anyone's out there listening, 702-483-4444.
Yeah, give us a call.
Call us because Benny and I grew up here as well as many of you out there grew up here. And Circus Circus in those days, it was like the biggest attraction in a young person's life, or even for family thing. I mean, where else could you go to a casino and they had a circus in there?
Yeah, it's circus. They had animals. They had fortune tellers. They had jugglers. They had everything out there you could think of.
Unbelievable.
Popcorn. I mean, it was, like I said, for us to go out on the Strip, to be able to get in and see something like that was amazing to us.
Oh, to see these acts, like the gentleman performer you were talking about that splashed into a little mini pool from 65 feet high. I remember him climbing up that thing, and my heart was like, wow, man,
yeah.
Wow.
Everybody did, yeah.
Oh.
Like I said, taking bets on him, not making it. That's pretty strong.
It is, but it was so electric back then. It really was. I mean, I thought it was so cool.
And they had one of the biggest signs in town. What was the name of the sign, Danny?
funny you should mention it. Lucky the Clown.
Lucky the Clown, 123-foot tall sign.
That's right. It's still the biggest
Still
today.
the biggest today.
Today.
Yeah.
Lucky
Still
the
out there.
Clown.
And still pink and white building.
And you know that they also eventually incorporated Slots of Fun as part of the Circus
Yes.
enterprises.
Now, I
Slots
don't
of
know,
Fun.
some of you folks might not remember back then, but they had bungee jumping right off the side of there. They had one of them towers that you could bungee jump off.
Yeah,
Didn't
right.
last long, but remember
No.
when that was real popular?
Yeah.
The
yeah.
bungee jumping. They had one off Sahara Hotel and then one
Yeah.
off of.
I could never wrap my head around it. You
No.
pay to go climb way up there, and there's a little cord around your ankle, and then you throw yourself off.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either.
Listen, I got other ways for me to get off.
Yeah.
And it ain't bungee
It's
jumping.
not jumping off of
No.
there.
I mean, I've gotten hurt jumping off some beds.
And they would give you a T-shirt if you made it.
Yeah, and if you didn't make it, they gave you the $49 stiff send-off.
Yeah, I think at the very bottom, I think they had little dummies laid out there that looked like splattered people. So you get up there and looking down, oh, that made you feel good.
Well, of course, it renewed your confidence in that this is going to happen to me.
Yeah. Then they ended up building the Adventure Dome eventually.
The Adventure Dome, yes. The Adventure Dome ended up costing, it was a $90 million enterprise where it had temperature controlled at 72. They had the Canyon Blaster.
Oh yeah,
They
the
had
Rim
the
Runner.
the Rim Runner. That was real popular.
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff inside that. That's first of its
Everything.
kind.
Bumper cars.
Bumper cars.
Everything. The ride with the waterfall, 60-foot waterfall,
60 foot.
with thousands of gallons of water. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild.
unique.
Yeah.
Unique.
Definitely unique, that's for sure. It was all
Unique.
inside, 72 degrees. You know, didn't have to worry about getting sunburned, any
No.
of that stuff.
No, but it was such a. I mean, the cocktail waitresses, they used to wear those yellow cocktail waitress outfits with the white boots with the tassels, and they had tassels around the outfit. And I think for a while they wore a hat also, like on a marching band,
Yeah.
and they were yellow. I remember hitting on one of them girls too.
Yeah, I was never in there to really hit on them.
Well, I mean, I was 17. I was looking for older women to teach me the experiences of life. Life is a canvas, and I certainly wanted to paint the right picture.
You had you right in mind, that's for sure. Oh, hey, here's another one you probably remember. Tanya the Elephant.
Tanya and the Elephant. Prior to Circus, we go back to the Dunes Hotel when Sid Wyman, the owner, or even Dave Goldstein, but usually Sid Wyman would bring Tanya out after the show, after the Casino de Paris review, and bring her to the Big Bertha slot machine. Was a big attraction at the Dunes and other hotels, and Tanya would pull the handle with her stout, what is it
with
called?
her trunk.
Her trunk, yeah. But you know another story about what Tanya did. Why don't you tell
Well,
the
Tanya
audience?
used to, it's Circus. Jay Sarno would actually dress up as a ringmaster, and he would bring her out. And this elephant would follow her like a little puppy dog. And they had her trained, like you said, to play the slot machine, Big Bertha. And she'd go out there and pull the handle. She'd go over and shoot dice. She'd pick the dice up and throw them with her trunk. And she was walking through some 21 games and decided that she wanted to play with the cards on the table. And she started taking her trunk. Well, they had a guy there that I guess been drinking all night long. And he thought people were vacuuming the table. That's how messed up he was, until he turned around and seen Tanya staring him in the eye. And he got up and ran out, scared the hell out of him.
Well, he thought he was so loaded that he
Yeah.
saw an elephant. He knew it was time to vamoose.
It's time to get on out of there. But they ended up selling her. She ended up growing up to getting real heavy for the flooring in there. And they ended up selling her to a circus, and she lasted a month and died. I think she was heartbroken,
I believe she was.
you know.
I believe I pet her because when I was a busboy at the Dunes, and I knew exactly when show break was, I'd go outside of the coffee shop and I'd watch,
Yeah.
Tanya with Sid Wyman there, and they'd pull the handle. I mean, people got a kick out of that.
No, sure they did.
That was, I mean,
You
you
know,
don't
she
see that
was-
no more.
She was an icon. They even had at Circus Circus. They had a pink elephant that used to go around a track up top where the trapeze axe was. They had
Yeah.
it inside of a cage. It would go around. Everybody
Oh,
would
yeah.
see this
Yeah.
this live pink elephant going around.
Yeah, they had some of the greatest aerialists in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
they brought family names where these people had been with the circuses in Europe for generations. These weren't just people that came out of some. These were generations of performers that were famous in Europe, like Bobby Barasini
Bobby Barasino
and his
the
famous
orangutans.
orangutans, which later he moved on to the Stardust.
Yeah.
And you had other aerial. You had the Colombo brothers. You had all these different.
Well, they had
acts,
Carl
aerialists.
Carsoni. There
The
you go.
one-armed
Carl,
acrobat.
The one-armed acrobat. He
Jimmy,
was
you
there.
remember Carl Carsoni, the
Jimmy.
one-armed acrobat?
Did you get that garage door fixed yet?
Jimmy, are you still talking? Did you call Rapid Response, Jimmy? They should
Matthew.
be there by now.
Yes, he should be there.
Yeah,
Tell him I sent you.
that's right.
But yeah, they had all that going on there. Like I said, it was just there was so much going on that it was. It's like going out and watching these water shows that they have.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you're just mesmerized by what
Yeah.
you're seeing.
Well, yeah, they had. They also had. Do you recall one of the first review they had? The nude show
Oh, at the
at Circus Circus.
well,
When they built that theater.
the Hippodome.
I think it was the 175. No, it
Oh
wasn't.
no, that was
the
the
Gilded
Gilded
Cage.
Cage.
175 seat lounge called the Gilded
The
Cage.
Gilded Cage.
And why did they call it the Gilded Cage, Benny?
Well, because they had a name for that. That it said that was somebody that had a lot of money that could not go outside. It was like a lady in a cage
Yes.
because people would hound them, you know, and stuff like that. So they called that the Gilded Cage.
I thought that was a well-appropriate name, the Gilded Cage.
Yeah, that's one of those that it's strange, you know. I mean, how they come up with these names. The Hippodrome, you know. There again, that
The
was
Gilded Cage, the Pink Pony,
Pink Pony.
the Steakhouse.
Yeah, the steak. We used to go there and eat all the time.
Oh, it was fabulous.
Circus Steakhouse.
I
Boy,
haven't
that
been
was
there in a
good.
while. Is it still good?
Yeah, we went there. Been there. It's been about a year and a half. But yeah, they still got the aged steaks in there and stuff. It was all that dark wood. It's beautiful when you go in there.
Oh, yeah. The ambiance is incredible. I haven't
Yeah.
been there in a while, but I used to go there all the time when I was at Caesar's Palace. We'd go there maybe once every...
Now, let's return to the Vegas Nights.
Hey, welcome back here to the Vegas Nights Tells. Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps. Jimmy, I hope you got that garage door fixed, buddy.
I hope you got a rapid response,
Yes,
Jimmy.
rapid response. Anyhow, yeah, I was talking about the Circus, how much fun that was for everybody here in town growing up,
Oh.
especially for us. You know, it was just amazing. Just driving down the strip as a kid, can you imagine sitting in the back seat of your car and you can see that the pink and white, you know, building that you can see it coming up, and you're just you got to get excited.
Exactly the shape of a circus tent.
And same thing.
And it was exciting because, I mean, like I said, there was cruising Fremont Street and a few other things. But when Circus for kids and teenagers, even grown-ups, I mean, it was fun to go there. It was a
yeah.
blast.
It was a blast.
You know, it was a blast to go hang out there.
Brings back a lot of memories, that's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of memories.
I'm sure that kids today still go there. Obviously,
Oh,
kids
yeah.
that grow up here in town, they go to. I know that during Fright Dome month, it's packed with kids.
Well, I know I was there last year. Like I said, I went and eat at the steakhouse there, and just walking through, it was busy. There
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people in there. A lot of people.
Oh, speaking of all this food's making me hungry. Do you know where we're going to go eat after this? Where we're going?
Well, I believe we're going to go to the Gamblers Cafe.
The Gamblers Cafe.
Folks, do yourself a favor. Go down there and have a little bit of lunch down there at the Gamblers Cafe. They got that boar's head meat down there. It's unbelievable.
I
The
got to tell you.
sandwiches.
And the salad. What I like about how they do things is like on a piece of paper, you just write down what you wanted, like the salad. Peanuts in my salad and all kinds of good, nourishing things. And the dressing they use is so light, it's delicious. It's so good that sometimes I'm a little obscene down there, and I start licking the bowl.
Yeah, I tell you
That's
what.
how good it is. I mean, when you lick the bowl, that's good.
That's good. Well, I tell you what, there's nothing. There's no crumbs left off the sandwich. I had the baccarat down there, which
No.
is at pastrami.
No, and they
Oh.
open for breakfast too at 8 a.m. in the morning, Monday
8
through
a.m..
Friday.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so go down to the Gamblers Cafe and then go to the Gamblers General Store if you want to have an interest in any kind of book about any kind of subject to do with gaming. They
Yes.
have everything, layouts, everything that you need, chips, souvenirs, you name it.
That and then head on over for lunch. Go to the Nevada Chicken and Rib Joint right here on Sahara.
the Nevada Chicken Cafe.
Yeah, I'm
Right
telling
on
you.
West Sahara. Let me tell you, that's where we get together. Benny and Jimmy and myself, we get together there before we come to the studio. We have healthy. The chicken is prepared outside like at an outdoor barbecue, and it's delicious.
That's good.
And
It's
the sides.
absolutely good.
I always get the sautéed vegetables, Benny. I tell you what, when I walk out of there, I'm thinner.
Yeah, you're thinner.
I'm thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course all the lovely gals that work in there.
Oh, they're
You know,
nice.
all the
They're
little Latin
sweethearts.
gals, Lupe A, Lupe B, Lupe C. You know,
Sure.
I love them all. And
Well, I'm
Jose,
thin when I
Jose
walk
can
in,
be.
but I'm heavier when I walk out.
To all the everyone there that works there, bien hecho, which means job well done.
Job well done.
Exactly.
They do a great job.
My peoples.
Well, they're great people.
Maybe we'll take Trump there.
Yeah, let's take him there.
The Donald.
How about Jimmy Kimball? Let's take him there.
Jimmy Kimball, come on back to Vegas, baby. We'll take you to the Chicken Nevada Cafe.
Sure.
It's finger licking. That's
Like-
what they used to say, the Colonel. But we all know that the Colonel is not finger licking anymore.
That's right.
Nevada Chicken Cafe.
And anybody want to invest $1 billion in a casino, give us a holler.
Yeah, listen, we know how to run a joint.
True.
We've worked for the best operators in town, and legal and illegal, and we know how to run a joint. You wanna go retro? You want to make a killing on every aspect of gaming? Talk to Danny Craps, Benny Baccarat, or Jimmy Baggs.
That's true. Give us a holler.
We'll take you there.
Yeah.
You know, that was great going down memory lane and talking about Circus because it was a big part of my young life. It really was.
It was part of all of our lives.
And many of the thousands of kids out there that have grown up here have fond memories of Circus when they
Everybody.
go there for their birthdays.
Even the entertainers that worked there.
The entertainers, unbelievable.
Everybody that worked there. They, they've a lot of people in this town's got memories of that place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I say, I don't go in there anymore. But in the month of October, I do go because of the Fright Dome experience. But it's always a treat to go, even though it's not the same. But it's still, I get the feeling of, how it was when I was in there, and I start having a flood of memories, and Zambora, and running out of there, and so forth. So, and all the Midway concessions, and taking the water pistol and blowing up the clown and shooting it in his mouth, and then the balloon, the horse racing thing,
Yeah, the horse racing thing.
and
Yeah.
away they go.
And away.
They're
they
in
go.
the far turn.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it does. It brings back, like I said, a flood of memories.
Flood.
It's enjoyable
Ugh.
to remember all that stuff.
Oh, I'm telling you. It's been a real joy to talk about Circus. It, and it ended up making money for a lot of people.
It made money for this town, too.
It did. And did you know that when it was taken over by Circus Enterprises, that a lot lot executives made a ton of money?
They made a lot of money.
Yes, they
sure
did, because they had a unique pay system for their executives that was like no other. It's not, you ain't going to find it anywhere. And I use the word ain't, which is a bad grammar, but I'm telling you, ain't going to get paid like that for just being a low-level executive. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. A lot of wealthy people got out
Before
of there.
MGM took over the Monte Carlo, shift bosses made $500 a day.
500 a day, folks.
500
Can you imagine?
a day.
Wow. Yeah, they took care of their help.
Oh, yes. Oh,
and
yes.
everybody was happy to go in there.
Yes, they were. Yes, because you got rewarded. If you made it past a certain position, payday, and I don't mean a candy bar,
That's right.
but it was sweet.
It was definitely sweet, no doubt about it. Yeah, some good days there.
Yes, and I want to say to all my pals that are still at Caesar's Palace, and that are retired, and some that are still there, wishing they were retired, and a few other places. I want to say hello to a lot of the people over there at the Palazzo and the Venetian. Those are nice places, beautiful hotels. The Wynn is a gorgeous hotel. And who's that big statue of? Is that Popeye?
Where, at the Wynn?
That's the statue they brought in from the architect.
Well, they got a...
what's the main one that they first brought in? It was like 25
well, that
million.
was the tulips.
No, after the tulips. Wasn't there someone?
Popeye?
Popeye, yeah. Popeye.
Yeah, they got Popeye. Yeah, that's it to win.
I was a big Popeye fan. I mean, I ate spinach for many, many years.
It's pretty. It's a very pretty, very done very well, that's for sure.
Oh, exquisite. Exquisite.
You know, to see that. But, you know, there's nearly every hotel out there, you know, is, you know, can't wait to get in and see them.
Conservatory at the Bellagio, one of my favorites.
That's one
Fantastic.
of the best. That's beautiful.
Take us on out, Benny.
Well, I tell you what, I wanted to say thank you for listening to the Vegas Nights Tells. We're talking about the Circus, which was fond memories for all of us. And we need some people to start calling in for us here. Get back with us on Circus, all these other hotels we've been talking about.
Call in. You know, we're lonely for some conversation.
Yes. And thanks for listening to the Vegas Nights Tells. Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps.
That's
Jimmy
right. And
Baggs.
Jimmy Baggs, I hope you got out of the garage.
Thanks for listening.